Good evening and welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Today's guest, Courtney. Courtney, welcome back. It's been a while.
I know. Glad to be back. Thanks for having me.
Well, I was going to ask. I mean, the big thing with your last visit was your Cookie Monster pants, and it feels like you had those. I think they were popping up a lot. Are those still in existence? Did you just?
They're drying right now. It's just,
Oh, see,
I just
the
have
legendary.
ones on. But
It's funny.
I do have here though at my little studio desk.
I love that. I love that. 'Cause that's what it was funny last time. And I was kind of new to podcasting too, so it's been a couple of years for each of us. We both have grown in what we've been doing. You obviously have been doing the Burning Wishes, which I love. So you going to the band has been fantastic. 22nd is August 22nd, right? Is release. I believe that's the album release for Inquisition.
Inquisition. Yeah, really excited about it. I got to tell you,
Please.
we finished that. I think back in February. So having to sit on this great record, it has been driving me nuts because I have ADHD and I want to overshare and talk about it, and I had to until now. So
There are some songs out though. It already shows it's gonna be a killer album. I mean, this is not I don't know, a mellow band. You guys rock.
Yeah,
no, this is definitely
just go. So
now I didn't even catch this at first. So you're actually living in Germany?
Yeah, it was, at the start, I left LA and went back to Philly for a hot second. But then, it was like every week I was flying back and forth and it was just too much. So I just bit the bullet and just moved. And it's been a wild adventure, complete culture shock, different language. Well, the band's out of Switzerland. I moved to Germany because it's kind of like nostalgia for me because my father's side of the family is from Hamburg. And after living in LA for so long, I did not want to pay Switzerland prices. So here I am in Deutschland.
but you would actually get Switzerland views and not LA views though. So
yeah, Germany's pretty too. So I get the views here too. If I want to go see a castle and all that, jazz, I just jump in the car.
I can't imagine just switching languages too. 'Cause now, is songwriting been challenging too for you now? Because obviously you're communicating a different language. Like the rest of the girls,
it actually works in my favor because I get to practice my German with them, and then they get to practice their English with me. So we just all meet in the middle. But no, they speak English as well, so there's no problem, no language barrier at all.
I also meant just like working now. You're in Germany, like you're working in the studio. If you're working, because now you're much more international. It's not just like USA, the main American language, man. I mean, you kind of got out at a good time with the fires and everything else.
So I've heard. I kind of obviously we don't get that news out here much, or I stay off Facebook as much as I can. But all my American friends I run into on the road here, they all tell me the same thing. But it is what it is.
Yeah, time is time. Everyone's mad at each other. All I can say is that everyone seems mad at each other, and that's why music is the best. Touring now. So what are we doing with touring? Because you get ready for a show coming up, you said?
Yeah. This Friday we play a festival called RV Bang something. It all runs together for me, so I apologize. Then we have a festival in the Czech Republic. And then we have a album release show in Italy on the 22nd of August. And then from there we head to the States for I think 3-4 weeks. So yeah, I get to come home to Wawa. So
That would be nice. I haven't seen that. Do you know where you're playing in the States yet? Any East Coast states?
It's all East Coast. I think we start in Florida, make our way up, and then track back down and end in Florida. So I'm gonna enjoy the humidity so much.
It's like 150% humidity today. It's so thick. I'm in New England. It's pretty hot right now. It's crazy.
My hair is gonna look great.
Oh yeah, the frizz will come back now. Festivals in Europe seem like they're way more intense. I've obviously never been in the U.S. I've been to one, but it seems like on some level it's almost not better for a band. I think to go on a festival if you get these festival runs because you're getting shown with so many other bands that someone may come for someone else. You go there, you prove yourself, and that's really what it comes down to with metal. It's who you are live, and people walk away going, "Oh, I gotta get a shirt, I gotta get a CD, or whatever the kids buy nowadays."
Yeah, the festivals out here, I mean, they're like religion. Like I swear there's one every other day. And it's another reason why I moved out here, because metal compared to the States out here in Europe, it's massive. And even to compare just playing from the States to here, there is no proving yourself. I mean, you always want to prove yourself, but there isn't this mentality that you have to walk on stage and prove yourself like you do in the States, especially like
Like this. Play your guitar. Can you see? Play your guitar. Impress me.
exactly this. All the metalheads over here, and a lot of people fly in from all around the world to go to these festivals, but everyone is there to have a good time. Hear new bands, if discover new bands and stuff, but there's no judging. There's no nothing. Rain, shine, just everything. Everyone's there from the crack of dawn till it's over. I really love it out here. When it comes to festivals and shows, there really isn't any of this at all, which is really shocking to me when I first moved over here. I was like, what?
That's actually the way it should be though. It should be like you don't have to like every band, but you have to be respectful of people and you can still enjoy it and you can still respect the artist, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to like every artist, but I'm like they're a good whatever player. I'm gonna listen to their music, but I can just respect them. You don't have to just dump on people, you
Yeah.
know. It but I've heard a lot of bands, even to the US bands, if they can get on a gig, even if they're not doing a lot here, if they get on a festival gig there, they're like, I get there, my shirt's already sold out before my first I'm even on stage. Like it's there's such an enthusiasm just eating it up, which
Yeah.
sounds fantastic. Like that would be like if I was a promoter or doing a band, I'd be like, you need to get on every festival you can over Europe and not worry about anything else and build your audience. Reverse.
Yeah, we call it festival season here. It's like every weekend there's another one. Beep, 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 beep. like
Do
uh,
this.
like in the summer, you don't really do like standalone shows unless you're on like a full tour to fill in the gaps. But everyone just goes on these like festival tours, so it's just every weekend, and it's great. And I mean, the festivals 3, 4 days long, 5 days long, and just the list of bands is just, and for me, it's like a family reunion every time I'm at a festival because I see people from the States, all over the world, and we're
Right.
just together. And like every time you're in like the artist area at all these festivals, it's just always like a movie, like the slow motion, like someone. Hey, oh, it's great. I absolutely love it.
Well, you've been on tour. You should know everybody around the world. You should know the entire world by now. You've been what touring
I
since
know.
you were
I think
13 or
I
something, 12 or
do.
13.
And then the other girls in the band, they actually laugh, like especially when we like play those like Monsters of Rock cruises and stuff like that. They're like,
Yeah.
how the F do you know everyone? I'm like, I don't know. I just
Well, you play with all like the school rock thing, which was always the amazing thing for me. I remember when we talked about it, I was like, what? Touring at that age?
and this is like another thing. It's like I love my fellow like women musicians and stuff. God, if we could stop bitching a line about it, it's just like something you're never gonna run away from this like
No.
stereotypical like, oh, female guitar player thing. Like just embrace it and stop trying to fight this thing that you create in your mind, like, oh, it's a man's world. Like, no, it's not. Just write good songs, get yourself out there, and just live. I'm just so sick of hearing. I'm probably going to get canceled for this now. Watch.
I'm not saying I'm a man, so I'm not going to say anything to begin with. I just want to let you know I'm just sitting here, minding my own business.
No, I'm telling you, I've been on so many like women artists like panels that were like live, like podcasts or whatever, things during COVID and stuff. Then like this kind of discussion comes around to me, and of course I'm the last one. And it's kind of like the View. You just see like their faces change when I start talking because it's not going along with what everyone else is saying. It's like I've been in the business for a long time now, and it's just, you know, I don't like speaking out on things really. Like I'm here to play my freaking guitar, have a good time, and enjoy it as long as I can because tomorrow's never promised. So like I'm not going to spend my time bitching online or.
The album, though, and the songwriting at this point, you guys have really been like you tour and you live with someone and you're really doing it. I imagine did it increase the comfort level for songwriting, or did you kind of go in when you first came to the band comfortable writing with them, or has it
No,
gotten better?
even before I was in the band, we've been friends for years. Like we met, God, I think it was during their first album cycle. They opened up for the Maidens a few times, so we stayed in touch. And then
Okay.
I played a guest solo on their Hexenhammer record. We did some stuff during COVID. And then, and I always just had this feeling in the back of my mind. There's God, man, I think eventually I'm like gonna end up in this band, because
You manifested it. You manifested it.
yeah, and the stars aligned, and here I am. And and it's funny because even like the first few shows and stuff, everyone was just around us, like really tight knit with the band. It's like, God, it feels like you've been here forever, and that's it because we're so much family. This like strange American speaking English coming in. But
Yeah,
no,
but you're well rounded though too. You're not you have thick skin, like so, yeah, from Philly. I mean,
yeah,
you've been on the
yeah,
road. You've kind of done the
far,
music thing.
far from green. But yeah, we just hit it off. And God, we were, especially when I stepped in, they were touring the Dark Tower record, which I re-recorded 3 songs for that on the digital release, which is
Oh, good.
really cool of them to like offer me to do it. I guess it was like them like, okay, let's see what you can do. They knew. But
I think they know. Yeah.
and yeah, we're on the road. And then the talk of album number 6 came out. And then, I mean, thank God for technology now and being able to like
Right.
riffs over phones and emails and airdrop, all that stuff. And God, within a week or two, the album was done. Like the songwriting process that we have with being such a tight knit like family, it just easy. And then we just keep writing and writing and writing because we get all the time like, how'd you guys write an album? You're on the road all the time.
Some people write as they go, and some people don't. I mean, it's really kind of crazy. No matter who I talk to, they always have a different way about how to write albums. It's amazing.
In some of the song, I mean, I can't say the song title I'm
No.
thinking of, but like it came out of us being stuck in a van driving in Florida or like Texas to Florida. And there's like a storm coming, and then someone in the van said something, blah, 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 like, and we all looked at each other. That would be a great freaking song title. Then, sure enough, it's on the album. But the little things like that just come out of nowhere. It's so, I don't know, it's organic. I know this is stupid. Organic.
No, but that's. I mean, if you use words properly, like I'm like I was saying to my wife yesterday, I'm like, gaslighting. I'm like, if I ran a company that was gaslighting, if gaslighting was how I ran my business, I'd be pretty upset with people using that term all the time because they're not using it properly all the time. This is gaslit. This product is gaslit. Organic. It's natural.
Yeah, it's like we don't, there's no stress of, oh, we need to write an album. It's just, we just keep writing, keep playing shows. And then when it comes to like album time or to get in the studio, yeah, it's done within a week, 2 weeks, completely different from, I mean, I guess way back, the 80s, where bands would, set up shop in a studio and live there for months on end. And
Back in the 1800s, back
yeah,
when Abraham Lincoln was alive.
obviously technology is up, so you can, be traveling and still be writing and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it's just great. I mean, I think we're already writing riffs for the 7th album. So
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I think the band, though, I mean, obviously, before you were there, I've had Laura on a few times too. She's so funny. She always makes me laugh. She had just started. Yeah, she had just started. I think the first time she had just gotten in the band. So she came in, and it was like a couple albums. I don't even know the timeline in front of me. I'm so bad. And then you. So it's like the band is just kind of recouping and forming into its own identity more.
yeah,
You guys are really standing out even more so now. It's like you guys are just getting your second wind. Like it's just the beginning on some level. That's what it feels like with each album.
People bitch about that too, like, oh, another lineup change. This, but it's life. If you live this lifestyle and realize, life happens. People have other plans. They have, different destinies and stuff. So the band lineups do change. And you always see the comments about it, and you see that with like any band. It's just so
I'd
freaking.
say that too. I'm like, but you work with people. I go, it's also a job. Imagine you work with somebody and you travel with them all the time. That is a nightmare to me. Like, not particularly. Anybody I know is watching. I'm not talking about you, but I mean, just me. I'm like, I always joke. I'm like, I don't want to cross the town sometimes with my family in the car. Like, I couldn't imagine that. So, and then COVID happened too, and that was around the time Laura joined, and just all kinds of reasons. And if a band grows, it grows.
Go back to the female thing. Yeah, we're all female, so it's especially with
Oh,
like
right. You women can't get along.
no, but other things, especially the current change when I came in, people don't realize. Yes, we are women on the road, and we're not like the male counterparts. They can start a family and still go on the road.
Yeah.
For us, we're the ones that have to pop the thing out.
Well, especially
So,
early on too. Early on, if you were successful, like in not Beyonce, like I would say like any of the bigger, huge bands that have like a jet or something silly, and they have
yeah.
an entourage taking care of their kid, like Pink. She can afford to take her kids on the road with her. But
But
then
not.
semi trucks.
But you still need to wait like a year or two. Like you're not just popping
Oh
out
yeah,
a
yeah.
kid
No,
walking on
right.
stage. But
Honestly, the last thing I want to do is if I birth a child, would be take the child with me and be like, I need a break. I just had a living person with me. I need a break.
yeah,
That's probably why men don't have babies too.
like the member of the band, Ramon, who started the band, she's almost due. She's on her first child, and and it's definitely not easy on her because like her, she loves her family, and of course she has nieces and nephews running around her.
Yeah,
So, like I completely understood the decision, like because we're only getting older,
yeah.
and she's going to be a great mother. But at the same, like I know she's just like I want to get back on stage.
Well, it's
And
hard
I
because
get to
that's
be
just who you
Auntie
are.
Courtney, so I'm really excited too. I already bought like little like Burning Witches socks and little Burning Witches onesies. And then when she's back, obviously we're gonna have the tour bus with the nursery in the background.
You, and you get sucked in those things. I was like online and buying my grandson, the onesies, spill them all, metallic, like the bottles, like
I
spill them
know,
all.
oh,
Like you get sucked in those little cheesy little things. You're like, oh, it's so cute now. I can relate.
it gives me baby fever. I'm like, I guess I'm next. When I see the little
Well,
socks.
before you do that, you need to finish your solo album.
Yeah, I know. The guitars are done. Now it's just tracking down everyone because they're always on tour. My friends to be the guest players. So
Are you gonna do all instrumental
oh no,
vocals?
I cannot stand all instrumental albums. Everybody's like,
I'm asking. I'm trying to. This is a respectful part of me where I let everybody be who they are.
yes,
But
I
no,
think like one or two on the album, but I'm like a vocals, full on metal person. I don't like hearing people wank on a guitar for an hour,
you're
hour.
right. It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I'll be honest with you. There's only a few guitarists I can actually listen to their albums that are just soul. There's only like a handful of them.
I
You know.
think the only uh, other than like the obvious ones like Passion Warfare and stuff. I think the
Oh,
only album that I would have on repeat was like Marty Friedman's Dragon's Kiss. That was, or
mhm.
Seymour's like Meltdown, or it's not my cup of tea, and I play guitar, and that's okay. It's just, it's like even being on Instagram, and it's just like anytime you see these like Instagram players, they're always covering the same instrumentals. It's either Jason Becker or this and that. I'm like, if I hear this song one more time,
Yeah. Well, there's a lot.
eruption, like if I hear it one more time, I think I'm just gonna go.
It is a lot. This is the staples to a certain point, but then it's generationally gets even because it becomes fresh again. Like
Yeah.
I'm
So,
I'm
yeah.
54. I think about 54. So like I'm 54. So I've generationally have heard eruption come through at least 3 or 4 times now, where it goes up and it goes down. I love
Yeah.
it still, but of course I have to walk away from things because I'll get burned out. I mean, how many times can you get that same album over and over again without
Yeah.
sounding fresh? Um, what about singers for that album? Because the challenge is, and I know you said this, you're writing your riffs, Burning Riches, solo. Have you defined it? Because some people, when they write songs, can be like, "Oh, I know this is a CC song. This is a Burning Witch song."
Yeah.
Are you at
There's
that point in your career with songwriting where you're like, "I know what's going to be a me song and what's going to be a band song"?
yes. Yep. There's complete different vibes. I know where they're headed, especially like Ramona and me when we're writing, witches stuff. And then here's, you know, I can let loose a little more and just be insane and put all influences together from Backstreet Boys to
No, that is, I love it. It's funny because it's like they have some great melodies. There's some. I mean, to just
I
go
know.
through a band like that is ridiculous. I've had an Air Supply a couple times. Like you cannot take away from a good melody.
Yeah.
You can.
And even Backstreet Boys, like some of the songs actually have guitar on it, and it's really freaking good.
Yeah. Didn't and Steel Panther didn't do a cover of one of their songs too, and it just even made it more heavy. Like
Yeah. like I said, it's just, we're all using the same notes, the same chords, and the same, chord structures and progressions. It's just you're singing different on it, and maybe not using distortion, but it's all there.
Well, but it's funny, but it's hard to say like it's not cool. Like I hate that. Or I was talking to a singer, it's funny. I just shared this thing. He was on. He's like I was asked to do a song with Rob Halford, like with Judas Priest. I'm like, what? At one point, could you imagine Air Supply and Rob Halford singing together? Like, how did that not happen? How did that not happen in our world? It didn't, because like he was on tour and he couldn't make the date or something.
Yeah.
Or something. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta make that happen.
Yes.
Because there's no such thing as like guilty music. And like I said, my wife was a fan, especially had all those albums and TLC and stuff. And I started listening to them. I'm like, oh, and you get the songs in your head, and I'm like, all right, I get it. I get it. You know what I mean?
It's an earworm. It's just great songwriting.
It is. Now, are you going to be doing different singers, like a lot of different singers, or?
It just depends on who's busy and how busy. And I mean, I would like to do different singers, but
So you didn't write a song with
on
somebody?
the whole, I
Somebody.
should say probably not, because if like I ever wanted to tour or do something, it's really hard to do. But I mean, whatever supports the song, I guess. And then when it comes to like touring with it, then I'll figure it out then.
Right. Well, touring is a little different. You have to find a utility, something like a utility knife version. You know what I mean? Like, I guess with Army Knife as singers, they can kind of do a couple of different things. And you kind of mix it up.
You just flip it out.
Yeah, because with a couple different voices. But well, no, I was gonna say, because like I know if you were writing songs with singers in mind too, because that can affect how you write a song. If you're like, oh, I know who's going to sing the song, what their range is, and where I'm going with it, that could totally change the tone of it.
Yeah, because I would hear vocals in my head, but I didn't like put a name to it yet. But when it's finished, I go, oh, I know exactly who I'm going to ask for this one. Vice versa. I don't want to stress myself out anymore, because like I said, ADHD and like it's overthinking. I'm like, dude. Like trying to write a song right now, and I'm just thinking of the symbol.
Well, someone has autism, it happens a lot to me. So I'll be honest. I'll hear a song, I'm like, I do. I've heard a symbol on some song. I'm like, I can't unhear it now, which is weird. I can't hear the song. It took me like a week before I could not hear the percussion on that one song. Awesome riffs or whatever. I'm like, I can't not hear that anymore. It took me a while to go. I had to move on to something else to precipitate on, to obsess on before I could forget that and move on. I think that's the trick, is you got to focus on something different.
Yeah, and I do even like kind of like just do like a scratch like drum program thing. Like sit for 2 hours just trying to get the snare sound right. I'm like, why am I doing this? Because a live drummer is going to do this, but how much this works? I'm like, nope, I can't go on to the bridge part until this snare is the perfect sound.
That's like that's a lot like me at work. With all this going on though, and it's funny because you're in the perfect age group now where you're on both sides of like, you have enough the early influence of like the 80s and 90s, right? Rock. And a lot of I'm gonna say old timers, like a lot of the artists like my age and up, hadn't done the social media, so they got kind of moved into it differently. And with COVID, it helped some people, it helped some bands. Some bands from the 80s and 90s did some of the best albums ever. Yeah. At that time, they came out some really great albums too. And some of them realized, I can't do anymore, and members popped off. And some of them go, man, I thought I was done. I can't be home all the time. I'm back on tour again. So, and some of them, my point is, some of them learned social media. Some of them learned, how to edit and do, all kinds of their technical skills kind of got brought up. Whereas you've kind of grown up in both worlds now. Yeah. Do you feel the pressure of social media? Like, I've got to be on Instagram for promoting myself. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think you do, because when I follow you, I don't get that from you. You kind of do Instagram, I think, like I do. Like, I'm like, this is stupid, I got to share this. Like, that's how I do it. That's for my show. I'm like, I don't really care. I'm not really
the same. I don't care, because I realized, especially like, I have a lot of followers and stuff, but there was two, unless like you just join some like legendary band or on like a reality TV show or doing this or that era where you could get your followers up to over 50,000 in a week. Yep. Gone. That was the start of the social media movement. Right. And now it's harder for I would say, the younger generation, other than the Instagram guitar players who are killing it, but take your shirt off, you're gonna get followers. But
well, that's the thing. Sometimes the people dress a certain way. I mean, men and women. You know, they're much more physically looking differently. They're all
Damning it when I play it when I first joined the Maidens, I 6-pack, just wearing a spangly bra. I'm like, whatever, I don't care. So power to them, but just know you're gonna have the backlash, and don't playing this for the other big thing.
well, but I want to thank you for being on the show. This has been fun.
No,
August 22nd. People expect the Inquisition, not the Spanish one. Just
everyone.
the Inquisition. Everyone. Just the Inquisition is coming. There's a few tracks out there now on iTunes that you can hear and all the other streaming platforms. And I'm going to put the links below on all of the sites. Subscribe to Instagram, Facebook, and I'll put your personals on those, and I'll put the site for the witches too under this, and so people can follow you and support you. Courtney, thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure,
Awesome.
man. I'll see you soon, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. I'll have to check out the dates and see. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. See you,
I'll send
man.
it to you. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.